taking your spot, or you know you're going to train a guy to take your spot. I think it's hard for a lot of people to do that. But when in an NFL, it is so fluid most of the time. If you get injured, you're going to lose your spot anyway. So it's not like but now for Witten, though, he's had the spot for a long time, and nobody has seemed to outwork him, which that's another thing. No one can outwork 98-year-old Jason Witten. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Are we seriously saying that? Is this coaching staff seriously saying that nobody can outwork Jason Witten and nobody's better than him?
I doubt it. I'm sorry.
I don't agree with that at all. So I think when it comes down to it, they have made some moves this year that I'm definitely good with. I'm good with Allen Hurns as long as he can stay healthy. They added the other wide receiver. Only time is going to tell. Only time will tell. We can talk about this all day, all night in the offseason, but when it gets to the actual real deal of the stuff, we don't know what's going to happen. Injuries can happen. Anything. It's always a flip of the coin.
And then, of course, there's the rumor of them potentially looking at, was it Cortland Sutton from SMU? So,
yes,
you never know, man. It's always, I just didn't like, the reason that so many people gave up on Dak all of a sudden. It's like, no, it was his second year. Now they're like, oh, well, Dak's not a true quarterback. It's like, it's his second year. What are you talking about?
What do you expect from someone that is his second? And people forget, he was a 4th round pick. It's not like Dak was, and he was a 4th round pick for a reason. It's not like he was a 1st round pick. It's not like he had excellent pedigree from where he came from. So I'm saying they have to give him this year to see, because they're trying to build the offense around him. So I think that gives him a chance to play it to his style. And I'm very interested to see how the season's going to work out, because looking like what the ads that we made, I'm excited. Now, at wide receiver, I definitely think they're going to draft a wide receiver. Cortland Sutton, like you said, the kid, Calvin Ridley, is a possibility. So I think at 19, I'm seeing them drafting a wide receiver. That's my thoughts.
I can see that. It's either that or somehow they go defense 1st round and then 2nd round get somebody like James Washington from OK State or something like that, or
right.
Christian Kirk if he's there.
Right. I mean, you have a very deep wide receiver core in this draft. Big L says Romo will return and save the Cowboys. That will not happen, sir. He is done with football. He has set his butt in that chair for a whole year. He is not coming back.
I can see them now. See them wheeling Romo up to the line of scrimmage
in a pink wheelchair.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Now make sure y'all can't hit him. It's gonna be like a spring game. So if you get close, we're just gonna call the play dead.
Right. Exactly. Grego breaking down. He said Witten breaks 0 tackles, catches, and lays down. Exactly. That's what we joke about at work. I'm serious. I call him Twinkle Toes, because whenever he catches the ball, it's like he doesn't even try to run because there's 15 people around him, and he just kind of does a little twinkle toe and he falls over and he kind of wilts, and it's just time. I mean, like, somebody needs to come to him and say, "Hey, we love you. You were great you were great during your time here, but you are now older and it's time to retire. Go to the booth. They're already offering you a job. You got a job on a silver platter where you don't have to get tackled. Like, take that job, let somebody else come in." I believe he's probably the 2nd to oldest player on this team right now. Like, that is...
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, they only have... They only have like 3 players over 30, and he's one of them.
I think it's just that he's not Tony Gonzalez. And, Tony played till he was about 75 too.
Right.
But he was also still productive.
Exactly. Yeah. I think you gotta just be honest. And he is 35 right now. Wow. And he's played 16 years in the league. It is just time. We appreciate everything you've done. We'll put a dual statue with you and Romo together, hugging each other. We'll do that, you know? We'll put it in the somewhere around the stadium. Big L, he says, yo, if Romo returns to the Cowboys, Ben will cry one tear like Denzel in the movie Glory.
Is that how it is? You got that Romo?
I'm not doing that. No.
You find out you're doing a TL talk about that's my quarterback.
Really? That's my quarterback. Like, dude, he never cried ever. And like that day, he was in his feelings like something serious.
Yeah, man.
I'd never seen T.O. cry, and he was like bawling.
I think the only other time I saw him cry was with the Niners, and he caught that one touchdown in the playoffs. Yeah, that was the only other time.
Jerry Rice was hugging him like, yeah, man, basically he made it. After he made that catch, his career was never the same again. He was never the same. Nope. He was T.O., and he wasn't Terrell Owens, the young guy anymore.
He got that confidence, man.
Right. He blew up. All right, so on to some college football. We have Jalen Hurts says, or his dad says, if he loses the QB job at Bama, that he will transfer. To me, this is no surprise because it is, I believe this is his junior year or his sophomore year. So it would make sense for him to not stick around if he doesn't have the starting job. I don't think he's going to lose it because he is a better quarterback and he is a junior. To me, he's the better quarterback. You know, you had the young kid came in, people didn't know who he was, and he surprised everybody. But at the end of the day, I think Jalen Hurts is the better QB. But it's all going to depend on what Nick Saban says. Obviously, he's got the deciding factor. But do you think he's going to lose the job, or you think he's going to be sticking around in Alabama?
I don't know. I think he has a good chance of keeping the job or at least retaining his job. But the only issue that comes in, especially with college sports, is that if a freshman comes in or any underclassman can come in, they look at it like, oh, well, he can only go up from here. Whereas they have to analyze and see, is Jalen Hurts at his plateau? Is he where he's going to be? Also, let's be honest, Bama doesn't have a great track record with quarterbacks. I think Greg McElroy threw like 68 yards in like a national title game, or it was like 80. Not a lot, but only issue I thought with this is, why is his pops coming out to say that? I've never understood why parents would come out and say, well, if this happens, this is what my son's going to do. And it's like, don't go to the media with that type of stuff. That's what I would say. But
yeah, I think
now.
I think the parents. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I think he could keep the job though. I mean, you have the young guy coming out of, even though he had a good national title game, but we saw that happen with Texas a while back. I think when who was it? Colt McCoy got hurt, and then they had like a freshman come in, and then they started him the next year, and he was terrible.
Right. I mean, to me, you cannot judge someone off of one game, and that wasn't even the whole game. That was the fourth quarter. I mean, I think that was at halftime maybe that he came in. So to me, it's hard to judge someone off of a half of a game. Now, if he's gonna let the guy compete, I'm good with that. Let them compete, let them battle it out, and whoever gets it is the one that gets it. But yeah, if Jalen doesn't get the job, obviously he has to transfer because it's your junior year. If you have to, and then he's gonna have to sit out at that too, depending on where he goes.
If he goes to another, D1, he'll have to sit out a year. Right. If he drops down, he can play right away.
Right. So, and I think the thing with the parent, I don't know if it's because he's 19. He's an adult now. You're over 18. So you can say probably what you want to say. I don't know. That's the part I don't understand that either, because it at that point you can say whatever you want to do. You can decide and say it to the media. But I don't know if his dad maybe said, I'm going to go ahead and say this so you don't get caught up into anything. And it's Yeah, I don't get that. Shout out to DJ King Royal. Also, Chief Rocker, he says, F Bama, who cares about them? Chief always, man. Chief is always in the building, and what he says what is on his mind. There's no filter. So I appreciate that about him.
I do have to say this, man. What is up with Georgia and their sports teams, though? It's like, this is the second team to have a lead and then blow it.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I don't know what's going on.
In the water. There gotta be something in that water or that Gatorade that they drinking, because I don't get that. Georgia was there. I mean, like, they were right there. The game was right there in their palm. So, and Grego says 2-0's little brother commits to Bama. Yes, that did happen today. I seen that update. So you got two brothers, both quarterbacks, that committed to. His brother committed to Alabama. So you have two of them there. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting now, because you got these two brothers that are there. I don't know how good the freshman is coming in, but we'll see. This Bama, they always get the top recruits though. At the end of the day, that's
of course. But I think NFL teams need to stop drafting players from Bama, especially certain positions, because
they don't end up good in the NFL. That's true.
No, they don't. And it's funny because I was talking with a guy at work, and I told him that Bama running backs are almost the equivalent of Penn State running backs now. Almost. Outside of one who's good now, but it took him a while. But TJ Yeldon hasn't done anything. I know we have one, and I'm just hoping for the best. But,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Derrick Henry, yeah.
Like
you. I don't know why it seems like it does not translate, and I don't understand, because they play the top competition. It's not like they play scrub teams, but when they get to the NFL, I don't know. I think Mark Ingram, when he's teamed up with Alvin Kamara,
he's the only one that's decent.
Yeah, but he's teamed up with Alvin Kamara. Before Alvin Kamara got there, he wasn't the same. So
no, and I think it's because, especially as a running back, if you're already hitting the safeties by the time you get the ball, you know, it's different. It's like you look at Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson averaged 5 to 6 yards a carry, so he was already in the secondary. He just run over the safety and he's good to go. You get to the NFL, you rarely get those types of runs. You got to kind of fight for your yardage. So they actually start getting hit, and they're like, "Oh man, I don't know how to. I'm not used to this."
Right. And shout out to Team Broadcasting in the building. He said he's driving. Appreciate you for coming through. Grego says, and Kenyon Drake is playing well, and you're right, he is. I believe he's with the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. He may be on a different team now, but there's only a handful. Of Bama running backs that come into the league, or Bama players, period, especially quarterback. We're not gonna get on that topic.
Yeah, quarterbacks. They don't have a good track record for quarterbacks at all.
Right, exactly. All right, so we're gonna take a break in just a minute, but I did want to talk about one other thing throughout this week. Actually, two other things. One of them, Lamar Jackson. There was the guy Polian, I think it's Mike Polian.
Bill Polian,
yeah. I mean, he comes out and says, or something to the effect that he should go as a wide receiver. No, he should not. That is, and then there's another story that just came out today that said he should be picked in the top 20, which he should. The kid can flat out ball. The kid is a right-handed Michael Vick, and I'm about to break down the stats also. But we talked about this through text, but it's almost like there's a disrespect for the black quarterback. It's like, well, he's just a black quarterback, he's gonna run and do whatever. No, you cannot put these quarterbacks coming out right now in that group, because they can throw also. They're just not about running. He had, like I said, his first year, he had 1,840 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. His second year, 3,543 yards, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He won the Heisman that year. The year after that,